Well, hello there, I'm back with another video. I know it's been a very long time since I posted on here, but I want to come back with a little bit of a different thing. Today we're going to build this amazing bee house that I have right here. Now, one of the best things about this house is the roof, in my opinion. I'm really happy with this design, and it's just a, well, not so simple gradient, but it's a gradient from Red Sandstone Wall. And of course there's honey blocks in here as well, but you might not have a lot of honey blocks while building this, so you can just put some placeholder blocks instead. What I really love as well are these very open windows, and the fact that they're colorful, that they have different colors. And I really like the magenta at the bottom as well. But it feels so open, like from all angles you can look at it and you can see all the beads inside. From the inside it's also very cozy because you've got all these plants, you've got the campfires, but yet you still have so much light coming in from the outside. And I mean, I love just mixing the functionality together with the aesthetics. I know this isn't going to be the most efficient bee farm on the market, but it definitely doesn't look like crap, which a lot of the automatic, most efficient bee farms that are out there do. So yeah, I hope you're going to enjoy this tutorial. Alright, let's start with the corners real quick. So for the corners, we're going to just put some of these mud walls. This is right there with some mud stairs on the side, just like so. This is where the build is going to be. Now, we're going to take some sandstone. It doesn't really matter whichever one you want. We'll use cut sandstone. Put one here, then one block gap, another one there, another gap, and another there. And then we're going to copy this thing mirrored on this block, basically. So stairs just like that, and a mud wall between those stairs. Now we're gonna use some of the sandstone again. Now we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of 3. And we're gonna do the next corner just like that. And now we're just gonna fill in all the gaps. So place them like there and like that. Perfect. Now we're gonna build up the corners. For that, we're just going to put some of these mud bricks 4 up like that, and then 2 over there, and some upside down stairs facing inwards. So then essentially what we have at the bottom just mirrored. Now we're going to do that for all 4 sides. There we go, and the corners are in. Now we're going to work on the sandstone walls. For that, we're going to need the sandstone wall, of course, duh, and some slabs. So we're just gonna take the cut sandstone slab for now. We can change everything later as well, so don't worry about that. Then we're gonna go up 2 on each of these sandstone blocks that we have down at the bottom. Then it should look like this. And then on every sandstone wall, we're going to place another one of these sandstone blocks. Then we're going to place a slab, a top slab onto it, and then another sandstone block. Alright, then it should look like this. And now comes my favorite part, because we're going to put in the glass. And I actually really love the glass because it makes it look so open. But we're going to start it off by placing magenta glass in these gaps over there. Above these magenta glass blocks, we're going to place some orange ones. Just like this, and then some yellow ones and white ones, and then we can fill in these gaps as well with a little bit of white glass. Now we're going to repeat this for all the sides except for this one. For this one, we're going to do it a bit differently. We're going to leave these 2 blank because this is where the entrance is going to come in. That's why we're just gonna do these 5 blocks. So pretty much the same we did there. And then in the end, this side is going to look like this. Alright, with all the sides filled in, it should look similar to this. And as you can already see now from the outside, it's starting to look really lovely. It's a very nice and open design, and there's just so much light coming in. That's why I chose this glass design for the inside. Okay, now for the entrance, we want to first of all destroy or get rid of this block and place a full block there instead. Then we're going to place some more full blocks going down like that. And from the inside, we're just going to place a bunch of full blocks in this U shape right here with a place for the door in here. We're going to place the door facing or on the inward side. With the entrance in place, now we can start the roof by doing, or for the roof, we're just going to put one of these mud bricks right here. And then a top slab, a dark oak top slab on top of there. On the side, we're going to place a block. then we're going to place a dark oak trapdoor going there, and another slab below the trapdoor. Then we're just going to fill this area in with dark oak slabs, so just going across to the other side, round about, yep, right there. Then we're just going to repeat the same thing that we did over there. We're going to place a mud brick there, slab over there, a full block, a trapdoor, and then a block below the trapdoor. From this, we're going to put a like a normal full block, a dark oak plank, and then repeat the same thing with a dark oak slab, and this time 2 planks, and again 2 planks. Now we're going to do the same on this side. Then it should look something like this. And now we're going to do the cross beam from here to there. So we're going to put another one of these slabs right there in a full block. And then we're actually going to put some stairs going outwards like this. This is a detail that I always like to add to my roofs. We can also put an oak trapdoor down below, so it makes it a little bit smoother. And then from here, we're going to do alternating trapdoors with bottom slabs going across all the way, all the way to the end. You should reach this point and then just repeat the same thing here. So another slab and the 2 stairs like that. Now this is the roof shape that we're going to be using for this build, and you can just repeat the same thing or just mirror this this roof design from this side to the other. Alright, now having it copied over, it should look something like this. And for the roof, we're going to be using the following blocks. First of all, the smooth sandstone, the red sandstone. Then the pumpkins, honeycomb, yellow concrete, and yellow wool. We're just going to start off by placing a whole row of this, going across from one side to another. We're going to try to build a little bit of a gradient into this. And on the second row, we can already start placing some pumpkins. So, whoops, something like this. Then another few pumpkins, and some, whoops. Then we already have a little bit of a gradient starting. Now then we can already use some honey blocks already. So just like that. Also, if you don't have any honey blocks yet, what I find works pretty well as well is the yellow terracotta instead of the honeycomb blocks. And yeah, then we're just going to keep placing them together with the pumpkins. And we can actually place another sandstone there. This is probably the most tedious part of this, trying to figure out the gradient. We can place another sand over there. There. That looks good. And then we're going to start with the concrete, with the yellow concrete on this height. We're going to place a few pumpkins as well in between to smoothen out the gradient a bit. Of course, the gradient is something you guys can also do yourself if you guys want. You don't have to copy exactly what I'm doing here. It's also good practice to just work on a gradient yourself. And then we're gonna start using a little bit more of the concrete on this row. And we can also start using the wool as well. The wool is like the brightest yellow block that we have. This gets us a very saturated gradient. There we go. Now for the last 2 layers, we're going to use, we're going to be using a lot of wool. Maybe honeycomb over there, yeah. What I always like to do is place them a bit diagonal from each other so they don't, or it doesn't look as flat, I guess you could say. And then for the top, we're just gonna place a lot of wool. Oops. Some concrete as well every now and then. Alright, perfect. Now, this is how it should look. It's quite saturated, that's why I like it so much. And you can just copy the same design to the other side as well, or try to work on a design yourself. That is always good practice for these gradients. Alright, now with the roof copied over onto the other side, it should look like this. Now it definitely looks like a house already. Another small detail that I just did is put some of these trapdoors up here. This just makes these little peaks look a bit rounder in my opinion. But I suppose that's optional, it doesn't really matter. As for the walls here, we're just going to place some round windows using the same glass technique at the bottom. For this, we're just going to place some blocks there, some full blocks there. Then some stairs, pointing inwards, making somewhat of a circle, I guess. And then we're going to fill this in with full blocks as well. And perfect, now we're just going to copy this onto the other side. And then it should look like this. Now to get the glass window effect, all we're going to do is just reuse this glass technique that we had at the bottom. So we're going to put some white stained glass over here, some yellow over here, some orange up here, and one of these magenta up there, just like so. We're going to repeat the same thing on this side, of course. And from the outside it looks like this. I love it because especially with the magenta right there, adds some more colors to it. Alright, now for the inside, I just placed some torches, some temporary torches right here. Don't worry about these. We're just going to remove all of the blocks that are like in the way of the floor and below these glass. Alright, then we're going to start with the Mossy Cobblestone. We're just going to put some in these sort of line patterns right here, and then we'll fill the rest of the gaps. Oh, I should have probably not placed it there yet. With some moss on the side. Whoops. Just like so. Then we can make another one of these Mossy Cobblestone lines. By just filling in the blocks like this. And then putting, of course, some of this moss back in the gaps. And then, of course, we can also another line right here. Whoops. And perfect. Right, now to make the transition between the moss and the cobblestone a bit more smooth, I guess you can say, we're just going to put some of these glow lichen blocks. And all the blocks that are sort of touching cobblestone, just like this. And perfect, that should be it. Alright, now of course bees, they need a campfire so you can actually harvest the bee nest. So just put a campfire right here, place another one right there, and another one right there. This should be enough for 3 beehives. If you want more, then just place more campfires around. Don't forget to put some of the carpets, some of these moss carpets above the campfires. Because like this, you don't accidentally walk into them, and it sort of hides them as well. I think it looks pretty nice. Alright, now of course bees need flowers to pollinate. So we're just going to place some of these flowers on the 3 blocks that we can find. In the corners I like to place the tall flowers. Get rid of this one, put another tall flower there. Ooh, then we can put some more over there. I don't know, just go wild, go nuts. As many flowers as you have. Just place all of them right here. Now, I like to use flowering azalea as well. I think they add a little bit of variety. They're actually a full block, not just a normal flower. And then another amazing block, which I love from the new update, is this cactus flower. We can just place this on all of the stone because you can't place other flowers on stone. So then just slaps them down just like so. And this should give us enough flowers for all of the bees to pollinate. Alright, now at the bottom it already looks really lovely and cozy. But, of course, the roof is still a bit weird. We're going to cover most of this up with moss. And, well, we also need to place some of the sandstone blocks here as well. And we're going to put sandstone, we're going to put sandstone over these last blocks as well. So this should be nice and evened out. Now we can put moss on top. Oh, whoops. Yeah, sandstone still goes here. Now we can go moss, put moss all the way across. And this will hide most of the orange roof from the inside. Then we're going to place just every now and then some moss. Yeah, it doesn't really matter how. Now, another detail that I love putting in my builds, just one of these spore blossoms, because all the particles they create. And I mean, hey, it's another flower with bees can pollinate there as well. Now for the rest, to make this feel a little bit more smooth, we can put in some of these glowberries. These hanging vines everywhere. Oh, and I just realized we can't put them where the campfires are, because this is actually where the bee nest is going to hang down. So we're going to place something like that. Yeah, perfect. And of course, here we have to leave this one free as well. Yeah, you can go nuts. You can just spam them everywhere. Now, a little tip, if you don't want them to hang fully down, is to just take a bunch of string. The string you don't really see very well, unless you have a texture pack that highlights string. Actually get rid of all the torches now because we don't need them anymore. But you can just place string wherever you want the glowberries to stop growing. So we can let that one grow a bit further down. Actually, no, this looks bad. So we can just cut it off right there. I don't know, for this, it's best if you just play around with it a bit and see what you like best. There's really no right or wrong with doing this. Oh, whoops. Didn't mean to harvest that. Then, of course, if you're impatient and you want these to glow, you can also just bone meal them. But eventually they are going to grow. So all of these are going to be nice and bright. Alright, now the bee nest, or the beehives. Oh, these are called bee nests. I always mix them up. We're going to place those using the oak fence and the chain. I mean, it doesn't matter what wood you use, whatever you like best, I guess. But we can alternate them, and I think it looks really nice. So this one we can place very high up over there, and the next one goes over this block, so perfect. And we'll place it this way for easy access. And next one goes here. Just like this. Yeah, so now you've got your bee nest hanging from the ceiling. And we can also get the bees in. So let's get a bee spawn egg. You can get 3 bees per nest. So 3 bees for this one, 3 for this one, and 3 for this one. And they're actually going to share the nest. They're going to make sure there's honey in all of them. You can just come back every few minutes, and you're going to have a lot of stuff to harvest, a lot of honey to harvest. I just noticed this door looks a bit naked, so what we can do, we can just put down some more, just some more of this over there. And of course you're always going to want to like store the honey somewhere, so what we can also do is put a stair like that and a chest right on top. So in here you could maybe have some shears and then all of the honey that you collect, some bottles maybe if you want the honey bottles. And yes, that's about it. Alright, now as a final detail, because this obviously looks might look a bit boring from the side, you can also exchange some of this for mud, like normal mud. Doesn't really matter how you do it, just slap some of that there. And for the cut sandstone, you can just exchange a few of them for the normal sandstone to get a little bit more of a rough touch to this. Add a little bit more detail, maybe a bit of wear and tear. You can also, of course, do this at the top over here. Yeah. Now, of course, you can also put like a little bit of a path here, but of course, the rest is up to you. I'm not going to tell you how to make your world. This is where your creativity can come in and mix things around, maybe change some of the blocks of this build as well. That would actually be a really cool idea. How would this look with a different block instead of sandstone here on the side? Or maybe instead of mud bricks, you can also try out other blocks. But yeah, this is the finished build. Have fun with it in your world. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you want to see more of these tutorials, be sure to like this video and then I'll know that you guys are interested in this. But yeah, I've actually got a lot of other builds in my survival worlds that I would love to make a tutorial on if this is something you would like to see. So yeah, just let me know. You can also let me know in the comments. And other than that, have a nice day.